Even when you feel low, you can still.
Oh man, I forgot to turn my camera back on. But look, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Dragon Riders Media. I am your host, Vincent, aka Dragon Rider, baby, and this is another Behind the Bullshit podcast, baby. Let's go. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus. Hiatus. Growing the brand, man. If you haven't seen all the videos out and everything, man, Dragon Riders Media is going in full swing. And starting next week, big announcement, man. Next week, I am going to be announcing some of the content creators and KOLs and stuff that I will be partnering with, along with some of the other companies that I'm partnering with, man. This is a great honor and a great privilege to be in the space for a few years, all the support that I've received. And man, it's continuing it, man. Continuing it. This is an amazing thing. So this is episode 31, man. I've had some amazing guests on, and I'm gonna tell you what, the guest list keeps getting great, better and better, man. So hey, let's welcome to the stage. He's been around the space for a very, very long time. Everybody should know, and if you're a crypto, you should know this guy. Let's welcome to the stage, Henok. Let's go, baby. Hey, your mic's off.
Dang, bro, I'm over here losing my mind talking about you. My bad, dog. My bad. Anyway, listen, man, I'm just saying it is such an honor to be with you, bro. Like, I thought I had energy, and then I met you, man, and I just appreciate you. It's such an honor to be on your platform, bro. Thank you for having me. Like, this is so crazy to me. This is so cool, man.
Hey, absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, so like I said, man, I've been in this space for a long time, and man, I'm telling you what, you may think that you ain't got no, but I'm telling you, I started watching you like 3 years ago, man. I'm like, dude, I've got to get this guy on the show sometime, eventually, one of these days. And it finally happened. I guess, hey, you bug somebody enough, you make things.
Bro, excited, man. This is fun. I love being on people's podcasts. I love pushing out great podcasts. So just thank you and your audience for making the time, man.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. So before we get into a little bit of background about yourself, where you like who are you, first of all, and how'd you get into crypto?
Yeah, I mean, like how far back do you want to, do we want to go back to Africa? Like how far back are we going, No, man, it's been a crazy ride, 3 years really in this space. I bought Bitcoin in 2017 because a coworker looked at me and said, "Hey, you need to buy some Bitcoin and some Tron." So I actually used Binance to buy Tron and Bitcoin in 2017. The charts were absolutely crazy. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this. Like, I'm not going to mess with this. Like, this is nuts. And I sold everything December of 17. And I didn't even think about the word crypto until Elon Musk got on Saturday Night Live to talk about Dogecoin. And I was like, yo, is this thing still around? Bro, I got on that Google. I got on the Google, dog. And dude, I was running into articles about these like girls with cat ears on CNN, talking about I'm making millions of dollars in memes. And I was like,
Yeah.
What? And I needed to make some money. And so I was like, if these kids are out here cooking, like, there's no reason why I can't put in this work and get after it. And so, bro, I started throwing money at crypto. I was losing a lot because I didn't know what I was doing. And I
Yeah.
learned very quickly, like, oh, like these are not just kids like messing around the internet. This is a skill set and a craft. And I put into work, man, hundreds of hours. Obviously, we were in a crypto bull run in 2021, so everyone looked like a genius back then. And the rest is history. Getting into crypto, making some money, that's one thing. But it really was months and months and months before I ever created a social media profile or before
Yeah.
I went viral. But that's how it all began for me. And I was just trying to make a buck like everyone else.
Hey, I heard that, man. Like I said, man, I started off watching you back. Shit, you mentioned Doge, man. So I got into Doge like right. I think that December, and I'm telling you what, you talking about the Elon episode, man. Hey, because you super early. You're already scared, nervous, and everything. So I had my Robin Hood up, and I'm like, oh, I'm watching. As soon as he said, I don't remember exactly what he said, but I started seeing the sell off, and I was like, bam, sale. So I sold the top of Doge.
Wow, amazing.
Made a little bit of money, and then eventually went on into other ventures. Bought into Shiba pretty early, or not pretty much after that, right before it really exploded and everything. Got into Saitama, got into TARP, I got into a button. Like you said, you come across that was a different day in crypto, man, because like I say, it was fun, it was exciting, it was just you could basically toss a 10 darts and 9 of them was going to send.
Bro, Mononoke, Shibnobi, Luffy, bro, Baby Cake,
All the scams. No.
bro, like it was, like chart went up, So, no, man, I'm with you. Those were crazy times.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So just starting out, how did you navigate the how did you navigate the ins and out when you first started out trading with crypto? It's trying, at least what scams did you kind of like accidentally invest into, and then how did you learn from that and continue on?
Some would say I still haven't learned because I still invest in tokens and I find out later, these developers were stealing. So like in some way, shape, or form, if you mess with memes, as heavily as some of us do, you're
Yeah.
gonna inevitably find yourself messing with tokens that you regret messing with. But
Yeah.
to be honest, man, I had a really big breakthrough after I invested hours into crypto. So when I first got in the spring of 21, early summer of 21, I was so focused on trying to make money that I didn't even bother trying to learn how to do what we were doing. I was just throwing money at stuff and hoping it would work out. It was such a dumb way to do it. And so I eventually got down to my last dollar and I was like, okay, bro, we got to like figure this out. So I had $100 left. I was like, before I put that $100 into anything, let me learn something. So I just spent a lot of time on YouTube after work, before work, during lunch breaks, after the kids went down for bed, just trying to figure out how to make money in memes.
Yeah.
And after spending hundreds of hours all that summer, I developed a little bit of a strategy. Nothing much, nothing crazy, but a little bit of something, more than what I'd had before. And most importantly, I got into a Telegram group. I saw a YouTube video of a guy named Holistic Crypto, incredible guy. And he was talking about Saitama really early. And I saw this crazy Saitama run up. And I was like, whoever is on YouTube talking about Saitama early enough, that's a person I'm going to pay attention to. So I went back and looked up who was talking. The earliest videos on Saitama I could find were from Holistic Crypto, who called it a month before that major run up to 200 mil or so. And he had a Telegram group, so I joined it. And being around all those other guys and just learning how to read a chart, how to look at wallets, just the basics of crypto, being around those people who were more seasoned than me, who had been around longer than me, really changed the game for me. And I'll tell you that that's the breakthrough. I tell people all the time, build relationships, connect with people, go to in-person events, hop on calls, pay people to learn from them. No one can pay me. I've never, I don't sell anything to anyone. So you can't do that with me. But with other people, like, get on those calls and hop in and try to learn. And you'll be surprised. This is a very generous space and people love to share, especially when you come humble and come correct and add value in some way, shape, or form. And that's exactly what happened to me. I'm thinking about guys like BeatStar on Twitter. He pulled me to the side and said, hey, let me teach you some game. I'm thinking about Marcelino. I'm thinking about Holistic Crypto. I'm thinking about guys way back there, who spent the time. And then there was guys at a distance, right? So Jake Gagan, bro, his YouTube was just beginning to pop off. Your pop, right? The guy called Shib. I mean, come on, he called Shib. Watching these guys at a distance and learning from them. So, your proximity to people, whether it's virtual or even relational proximity, can really make the difference between you trying to operate in isolation and not catching anything versus you being networked with other people who are stronger, positive mindset, have some experience, been through some battles that you can learn from. So relationships was really what made that massive, massive change for me as it relates to trading and investing.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And like you said, education is really key in this space. And a lot of us didn't learn that until the bear market started. We started really getting into the bear market. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it was just you thought you were so good. You hop on Pancake Swap or you hop on Uniswap. And you was making, you was paying those $700 gas fees and stuff like that and everything. And then, it was, you got all that excitement and everything, and then the bear market really started to hit. Bitcoin started tanking from all-time high, start dip, and of course, we're all still hopeful. We're instead of having that learning and having that education, we're all like, oh, it's gonna go, it's about to go, rather than actually looking at past trends, looking at the signs, chart reading, all that stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you, man, for a while I was one of those, oh, it's gonna do this, it's gonna do that. And then it was like, damn, what am I doing?
Yep. Capitulation set in. Yep.
Absolutely. And then you start to, like you said, you start to get around other people that's learning and that's trying to learn things. You're learning along with them. You're getting in contact with people who are more knowledgeable than you, and that's the key right there is like say attaining that knowledge to become an experienced trader. If you're not gaining that experience, you ain't a trader. You just a shitcoin buyer.
Yeah. And during a bull run, what's crazy is like you can just be a shitcoin buyer and actually make a little bit of money,
Yeah.
but a far more effective long-term strategy is engaging in some sort of discipline or strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when we started entering that bear market in that time, man. So, because I think it was around about that time is when you started you started that wallet. You had like Volt and everything like that, man. So how did that
Yeah.
idea and that concept come about? Where you had this public wallet, you had a bunch of tokens in there and stuff like that, and then what kind of happened with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the wallet, but my public wallet is actually still in place. I was looking at it and I was like, how much money is in there? Oh, 20 grand, but it's called the $100 million challenge. I
Yeah,
started, so we had an unbelievable ride, right? In 2021, a lot of people made a lot of money and it was crazy. And, my trading and investing side was phenomenal and it was amazing. And then I started creating content, 4 or 5 months after I started trading. I was just a random Anon with 4 Twitter followers and, 17 friends in Telegram. And I
yeah,
had no aspiration to ever do anything publicly. I was just going to stay quiet in the background. And, for months on end, my friends would be like, dude, you're a great communicator. You should create videos. And I was like, I don't want to be on social media, man. People are vicious. People are dumb. We're making money. I'm good. I'm a mortgage professional. I don't need my
yeah,
clients running it, whatever, right?
yeah,
And man, one day I got really bored and I decided to just make a video. My friends were just like, yo, make one. I was like, all right, whatever. So I made it and dude, they were super encouraging. It was a bad video, it was just a really bad video. Like they were just super encouraging. They don't know much about content, but they supported your boy. And I kept making videos. And one day, Holistic Crypto looked at me and said, hey man, why don't you start making Saitama videos? You have a bag in it, help support and
yeah,
push the project. I was like, you know what, man, that does make sense to me. And this is like a no brainer now. But back
yeah,
then, like these were new concepts, And so I made a video, and it was just me running around with an cracked iPhone 10, howling and screaming into a camera phone, exuding and emoting the energy of the community, right? In this crazy cartoon character named Henok.
yeah,
And those videos began to go viral, and we had an unbelievable ride. So like you're making money trading, and then simultaneously you're beginning to build a social media profile. You're beginning to build a business. And
yeah,
a matter of months after I, started going viral, tens of thousands of followers across all these platforms, I created the Henok Crypto Corporation, and I realized there was an opportunity for business here, and launched. Had a team. And I was like, let's just create content. Let's create some crazy content to get more people exposed to crypto. I'm new to crypto. I'm having the time of my life. Things are changing. And I was like, you know what? Me and the team sat down. We talked about it. Like, why don't we take $1 million, put it in a public portfolio, and just document a crazy journey of turning $1 million into 100 million in crypto? And it sounds nuts, right? And we're coming off euphoria. I'm new to crypto. I don't understand anything about cycles. Everyone's flush with cash, and there's a lot of interest. So why not, right? And an incredible way to get attention and views and do some cool things. $1 million, the $100 million challenge launched January of 22, right? Effectively month 2 of the bear market. And but we went from $1 million into 3.3 million in just a couple of months. I mean, dude, I was getting invited out to hang out with Damon John from Shark Tank in Florida. I was at Super Bowl week hanging out with Snoop Dogg, Chuck Liddell, King Batch. I mean, dude, I was getting cell phone numbers and DMs from some of the biggest names, NFL quarterbacks. It was insane, dude. And like, they're still following me on IG. And like, I'm building relationships with all these people that are like, yo, who are you? Like, how'd you get into crypto? Like, I'm hearing about all this crypto stuff. I see your public wallet. Like, talk to me about this thing. And so like, I'm getting brought in to do consulting. I'm getting brought in to answer questions. I'm getting brought in to simply help inform other people. And I was doing that on social media anyway, right? Whether it's just a janitor following me on Twitter, listening to something I said on YouTube or in Spaces, or an NFL quarterback who has interest in investing in the next 100x, whatever the case may be, into servicing people, in between. So it was a really cool challenge. Can anyone actually do that, right? Creating insane content. We did hundreds of millions. We actually did over 1 billion views and impressions across all the platforms over the course of those couple of years. The $100 million challenge is effectively dormant. We ran headlong into a bear market that I did not account for because I was so new and so young and naive and dumb as it relates to cycles, right? I was just having fun. We were flush with cash and I was having fun.
What we are.
Yeah, why not, right? And it was really cool, and it really served an incredible. Like, it did a lot for me, right? It humbled me. It put me in a place where I had to learn markets. I had to learn crypto at a deeper level, because when you're winning the way we were winning, it's such a heroin addict dopamine hit, and you're not thinking rationally. You're not cogent. And so the bear market will humble you. And it did so much for developing new muscles, a new mindset, wisdom, discipline, structure. I spent a lot of time, the team and I spent a lot of time doing an autopsy, and learning what went wrong. And that's done so much for me. We kept growing the accounts, obviously, kept growing the business, kept growing relationships, knowing that one day we would get back to that same level of euphoria. But this time we're coming back with knowledge, a skill set, and discipline. So if we did as good as we had done, right? If we did as good as we did in 21 with dang near nothing, can you fathom what's going to happen, right? On the other side of all that experience and all those mistakes and public mistakes, private mistakes, and now I'm like, bro, I'm just like, we're about to have a lot of fun. So, man, I'm really grateful for the $100 million challenge. I'm grateful for my team that stood by me through really tough, lean times, and kept help building the brand. And it's been an incredible ride. And this whole thing has been such an incredible ride. I've met the greatest people on earth, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So because we all know what happened with some of those projects and stuff like that we kind of invested in and everything. So what kind of backlash did you receive after some of those? Because hey, some of us that talked about this and that, man. It's like what okay. So first off, what kind of feeling was it for you when you found out that some of these projects that you did invest in and publicly invested in turned out to be some shady characters involved?
It was extremely disappointing, frustrating, and sad for a lot of different reasons. The number one reason is because I knew, and I still know, and carry the weight of all these incredible people that follow me. I've got single moms that are looking to get out. I've got young guys that, their parents didn't help them. They're in college. They're just trying to make it. And if they don't figure it out, there's no one coming to save them. I got that guy in my head with every tweet that I put out. I got people that are looking to change their life and their family legacies and dynasties and experience incredible things. And I've been blessed and so privileged so far in this journey. But I always want to remember what it was like when I first got started, summer of 2021, and remembering that that pain, that anxiety, remembering the weight of bills and just trying to make it, bro. And so for me, bro, like it was really challenging and difficult to see projects that I supported. I put the full weight of my team, my money, public wallet investments, social media capital, celebrity endorsements. Like I'm giving everything. I'm messing with Ezekiel Elliott here in Dallas. We're shooting content. Like, I'm doing I'm doing everything that I know to do, and I'm doing more as one entity than 1,000 community members in said projects. I'm doing more than some devs are even doing, right? And I only own point whatever percent of supply publicly, right? And so it was really frustrating and disappointing to see projects that had such incredible potential. And at the same time, bro, like the vitriol, the criticism, the attacks, the onslaught that came my way, a lot of it was definitely not warranted and not fair. But at the same time, some of it was, bro. Like when you come out publicly the way that I did, when you're going viral the way that I've done, when you're putting like public wallet addresses out there and making massive investments, for everyone to see, like you don't get to enjoy the fruit, of things going up without risking catching some of that downside too. And so that's the price you pay for doing what I do. I don't take it back. I'm thankful because again, everything that wasn't a success became lessons that I would use for future success. And so, yeah, bro, it was definitely difficult to go through that, but it was a very humbling experience. It was very good for me, very healthy. And, man, I wouldn't trade it for anything because of, the way that it's like a PhD in going through the fire. So
Yeah.
it was tough. It was really good for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that all comes with that the knowledge that you attain through your mistakes and stuff like that. A lot of people that are investing, especially right now, crypto is in the news like big time. You know what I'm saying? The SEC is heavily involved, the government's heavily involved. It's like people that didn't get some of those experiences. You know what I'm saying? So I came in at a very high time. You know what I mean? So I didn't get to experience previous bear markets, but now that I've experienced a bear market, all of those mistakes, as you mentioned, and you really, and I preach this to everybody, you have to have some type of education about yourself. Don't stop listening, stop listening to people that ain't trying to teach you anything. It's like, oh yeah, this is pumping. Yeah, let's go. And it's like, okay, well, why? Those are the questions we didn't ask before. Okay, why is this pumping? What is it? What does this got going on? Like, what type of longevity is this going to have? That's what seasoned investors would. Those are the type of questions we have, before we just throw ourselves and throw our hard-earned money into something, let alone talking about it. You know what I mean? And in some sense, as I've been mad at a lot of people that have talked about tokens and such that didn't make it, whatnot. You know what I mean? But part of that learning process is understanding at the end of the day, I bought that. I bought it. I didn't do any type of research on my own. We all say it. It's not even a cop out. We all say it. It's like, hey, do some research. There's been tokens I haven't done research on, and I've lost a wallet. That hurts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes. That's real, bro. That's real. And when you're in euphoria, you do dumb things, and a lot of people don't take responsibility for their own lives and their own decisions. And it is what it is. But that's the game we're choosing to play. This is the field that nobody's forcing us to be here, including myself. Like, we choose to be here. I choose to be here. And every market participant chooses to be here. And these are the terms in which we play. So, it's tough, but you just keep moving forward. You stay in character. You stay within your character. Be true to who you are. And over time, like, I've outlasted devs. I've outlasted a lot of people. I've outlasted a lot of influencers. I've outlasted every single shady character. I've outlasted all my critics. I'm still here. I'm cooking. I'm actually like, it's all time high. Like I've never done as well as I am now. So it's like, it's funny to see like so many people who criticize, who are negative, who hurt, the community. But, you stay positive, you stay resilient, you stay disciplined, you stay consistent. And like, bro, like that is a sustainable thing. It really is sustainable. And so I just tell people like, you know what, man, like learn, take your licks, You got to go through the wilderness to get to the promised land. You got to go through the fire, but it's worth it. It really is. Once you get to the other side, it takes years, but once you get to the other side, like once you go through your cycles, man, like this is an incredible, crypto is an incredible opportunity. Meme coins are an incredible opportunity. This is the greatest innovation to retail investing in investing history. And we have an opportunity here. And so I'm really bullish on what's happening. I'm really bullish on where we're headed. This is what we've been waiting on for 3 years. And it's what a time to be in crypto.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So what kind of ideas do you have for as far as what may or may not be coming down? You know what I mean? Because we all talk about regulations and everything like that, you know. So how is that playing in your strategy going forward?
Regulation was effectively put in January of this year, and a lot of
Yeah.
people, kind of missed it. But ETFs were a really big deal. So ETFs are highly and heavily regulated. So what's interesting and genius about what the institutions did was instead of trying to get legislation passed, which they've been trying for over a decade and nothing's really happening, they just
Yeah.
said, you know what, let's circumvent it. Let's put crypto inside of a vehicle that's already regulated. So that way we get all the protection and the benefits of regulation without having to wait for brand new laws to go into effect, and we can still capture upside. So they decided to put their investment dollars through the vehicle of ETFs, and that
Yeah.
effectively is regulation at this point in the game. It could take another decade before they come out with something like the Dodd-Frank Act for mortgages back in 2010, right? So it might take another decade before we see something like that within crypto. But I'm excited about the prospect of Donald Trump getting in office. I'm looking forward to him replacing Gary Gensler. I'm looking forward to, it's interesting to watch both Democrats and Republicans become more and more crypto friendly. I have a feeling that
Yeah.
we as an industry are buying candidates, which, we're flush with cash, so why not?
That's right.
I'm
Because
looking
they
for,
need it. We
yeah,
all know
they need
that
our
they
money.
need it.
They need
Because
our money.
USD is
Yeah, that's real talk. So, I hope as an industry we're buying candidates. I'm looking forward to seeing more of that, funding campaigns in exchange for, better, lighter treatment of our industry compared to how we've been treated the last 14 years or so, 15 years or so. Another thing that I'm looking forward to is rate cuts. We're about 2 weeks out from the Fed finally cutting interest rates. We've been operating in crypto under a high interest rate environment for years now. And, a lot of people who are new, you don't understand cycles, you don't understand liquidity quite yet, but this is going to be a seismic event that creates a lot of opportunity over the next year or two as the markets get more and more flush with cheaper money. You're going to
yeah.
see people investing into assets that are a little bit more risky. So I'm really looking forward to that.
So, what do you think about because you mentioned Trump. What do you think about the idea of using Bitcoin to help stabilize the reserve?
I don't know about that. I mean, it sounds like a good idea. I'm concerned about supply control, and I'm
Hmm.
concerned about like foreign parties and adversaries that can become market participants. Because let's say China decide, oh, you guys are going to make that your reserve. All right, cool. We're going to start buying supply off the market, right? And let's say they
Mm.
begin to weaponize the dumping and the selling of Bitcoin as a way to, So there's some concerns there, but we'll see, bro. It's an experiment. I don't think they'll do it. I
Yeah.
don't think they'll execute, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. You brought up a good point I didn't even think of. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. I mean, I don't know, man. It's like say with what's going on with the dollar right now, and the BRICS becoming even more stronger and stronger and stronger. Um, there's something has to be done. Something has to rectify a lot of the wrong that we have in not only just our economy but our government. You know what I mean? I'm really happy about the perspective of Elon Musk balancing out the entire government, baby.
We'll find out.
Oh,
We'll find out.
bro, that'd be beautiful if that was to happen. It's been far too long that on both sides of it, I don't care who you vote for. They are all doing some shady shit, and lying and misappropriating funds and worried about your $2 that somebody gave you and how much that they can tax it.
That's real.
Man, currently what's going on with you have a podcast now?
I do.
How's that
So,
going?
man, it's incredible. It's called Pantheons. Go download it. If go subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, whatever your favorite podcast player is. It's a podcast where we study the biographies of the greats. Right now, we're studying crypto greats. So, episode 1, Brian Armstrong. How did a guy who failed at starting 10 different companies end up building a $48 billion empire in crypto of all places? Episode 2, CZ Binance. How did a guy who grew up in rural Chinese poverty, no running water, no electricity — it's a type of poverty that most American poor people don't even have categories for — how did that guy build a deca-billion dollar, crypto company? And I'm going to, Vitalik is up next. We're going to study the Winklevoss twins. I put in over 30 to
Wow.
40 hours into researching for every single episode, me and the team. So I'm reading biographies, listening to podcast episodes with these guys, reading transcripts, studying articles. My goal is to give you the highest value per minute when it comes to listening to about an hour's worth of an episode. Also, the goal is to help you really, we extract the principles from the biographies and the quotes of these greats that you can use in your own work. So my goal is to bring the highest quality, high produced, high value, content inside of that hour. And the people I'm targeting are the 1%. So this podcast is not for the 99%. It's for the 1%. Builders, entrepreneurs, founders, people that are hungry to grow, people that are looking to build something and make money or impact the world in some way, shape, or form, because we're going to study Pantheon principles that you can apply because you're a Pantheon in process. So I really encourage everyone to listen to, and every episode gets better because I get better over time. So go listen to episode 2 and let me know what you think.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So, all right. So this is called, because the show is called Behind the Bullshit. I always have 2 questions that I spring on my guests. So the first one would be, all right. So through your career and through your journey through crypto, you kind of experienced 2 different moments. There may be more than 2, but maybe something significant that's in your mind. Okay. So you have some positive bullshit and then you have negative bullshit. So positive bullshit would be something that you was like, you know what, it's kind of messed up, but it was a nice learning lesson and you were able to evolve and grow from it. And then on the flip side of that, your negative bullshit would be, you know what, it's just straight bullshit. I don't wish this on my worst enemy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what would be your positive bullshit moment?
Positive, man, was like, I would say like what happened with, Saitama, right? That was the one that really put me on the map. Went crazy, ultra viral because of that, and what so many of us gave to that community and that project, right? And to know that there were, malicious leaders that were once a part of that project. And my understanding is almost all those leaders are gone. All those leaders are actually gone. Really proud of MK
Pop
and
smoke.
his team. Yeah, I'm really proud of MK. I'm really proud of what that team has done and the resilience of the remaining community members. So respect to the existing community. What I'm referring to were the leaders of the past. And that was very disappointing, very disappointing. You're seeing people, some of those leaders, there was content online about them doing drugs with our money, people buying Lambos with our money, people buying massive houses with our money. And it's very unfortunate because there were so many people that were hurt by that project. And so many of us gave so much, invested so much time, energy, and a lot of money, so that was very unfortunate, but it was very positive in the sense of like, out of the ashes, the phoenix rises. And there were so many lessons. There were so many relationships, so much business opportunity, so many great things that have come in the aftermath of that horrendous situation at that time. So I would say that was definitely like kind of a really tough moment, but turned positive. And man, something I would never wish on my worst enemy, bro. I get criticism. I get my fair share of like attacks and negativity and comments and whatever. And it's all great because it's publicity. It lets you grow even more. It lets you know you're still relevant. There's so many great things that come from that. Anything you might be able to learn or even take away from, right? Sometimes your critics coach you, and that's really good for you. But man, I'll tell you, there was a moment about 2.5 years ago where people dug up, photos of minors in my family, kids, And for them to grab photos of my family, you know, family members that were underage, and to put that online and say some of the most evil, vile things that they would do, you know, to innocent kids. Like, that's just like people. Those kids had nothing to do with crypto or my situation. It's
Yeah.
just critics that were so angry that, you know, that they're not making money because of a project that maybe I was connected to amongst thousands of other people. So, you know, to see people take out their anger on kids, that was the lowest moment in my career and in my time doing this. And so, what was funny about that moment though was even some of my harshest critics and even some of my greatest like people that despised me in the space in that moment came to my defense.
Yeah.
Right, everyone across the entire industry, from devs to influencers to, this was 2.5 years ago. They were like, "All right, guys, that right
Yeah.
there,
That's
that's a
beyond.
level of like that's a crime actually."
Yeah.
You know, like that's a level of criminal. We can't condone that. So that was cool to see the whole community come together on that one. It was one particular bad actor and a couple of his friends, but
Yeah.
but I mean, this is the price you pay for doing what we do, and that's okay. You know, you learn, you grow, you develop. You know, you try to become better, and
It
you want
froze
to
up.
add value. Yeah, you want to. Oh my bad, did it freeze up? You can't hear me.
Is that me?
Okay, I could hear you. I could see you. I was good, but yeah. So
My
that was kind
bad,
of
man.
crazy.
But yeah, man, that's messed up. I've heard a lots of horror stories of content creators and such experiencing just some foul things from people that didn't necessarily um do their research on a particular project. At the end of the day, no matter what we talk about, we can't control what a dev does. No matter how much research that we try to do, we're not perfect. We may miss things, so
I think. Sorry, guys. I think we lost our guys. So I'm about to hijack this whole show until Dragon comes back. But I'm sure he'll be back any moment. Thank y'all for being here. That's number one. Thank you for the comments. Want to give a huge shout out to Tim and Jet Up. Looks like the Beans community is in the house. Shout out to you guys. Could I give a shout out to the Beans community? I need y'all. I need to give y'all some love because y'all showed up. I don't see any other projects, in this joint. So I'm gonna give you guys some love. What up, Franco? And please subscribe to the podcast. Can I show the podcast again? I think it'll make you better. I think it'll grow you. I think it'll develop your career. But really appreciate all of you. Oh, here we go. My man Dragon's getting back in. What's
man,
going on, dog? I hijacked your show, man.
welcome back to the Henok Show, y'all.
I was ready, bro. I was ready.
Yo, hey, but look, man, it's crazy because my VPN kicked on and it glitched everything.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, listen, man. It happens. It happens. Remember during COVID, it happens.
Man,
I was giving Beans a shout out. I was out here pushing my podcast. Like, I was ready to go.
hey, that's what's up. That's what you're supposed to do, man. Out here, especially amongst content creators, this is a great time for a lot of people, a lot of us to collab, get together, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily work all the time together, because we still got our own things to do. But man, this is a great time to kind of collab and do things with each other. And I'm all about supporting other content creators, man. I've received a lot of support myself, and it's very appreciated. And I know, even though your name's more prevalent than mine.
Nah, man.
But yeah, man.
It's not even like
all support from all angles, man. We all win when we work together. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things, especially ones that are out here trying to educate people, man. I really like what you're doing with your podcast and really going into a deep dive on, the basically the founders and these people that are so important to crypto, how they got their starts. You know what I mean? Because you never know. You may be talking to the next Vitalik. You know what I'm saying? You may be talking to the next Brian Armstrong. You know what I mean? You never know who you come across in this space, especially if you're giving information and people are being receptive to it. Hey, all it takes one person a day, man. If we can teach one person a day one thing to get them right with crypto, we're doing our jobs. That's what you know what I mean? Oh man. So I know you're a busy guy. I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. I really appreciate you coming on. This has been a fantastic discussion. Man, in closing, what would you? All right, I got two more questions.
All right.
So we're gonna kind of close this out. So, what kind of we talked about education and stuff like that. What kind of guidance would you give, or I wouldn't say guidance because we're not financial advisors, all that stuff, but to help people become safer in the crypto space?
I think you need a strategy that works. Like a lot of people either don't have a strategy or they don't have the courage to come to grips with the reality that the strategy they're using isn't working.
Yeah.
So I think you need to, number one, identify, do I even have a strategy? And number two, is it effective? And effective means, do you have money, realized gains in your crypto wallet? If the answer is no, you need to get one. Get a strategy. What books do you need to read? What podcasts do you need to study? Do you need to go listen to Warren Buffett and his shareholder letters? Do you need to read his biography called Snowball? Do you need to pull aside a crypto investor? Do you need to pull aside your favorite influencer? Whatever, like what TG group do you need to be a part of? Who do you need to connect to and learn from so you can have and develop an effective strategy? Because if you don't, man, we are heading into a bull run. Now is the time. You must get a strategy right now.
Yes.
This moment will not occur again for another 3 to 4 years, right? The moment before the Pico top of the run. This doesn't happen again for years. So you need a strategy right now. So I would say go get one. Reach out to somebody, read something, figure something, do whatever you got to do to get that strategy.
Yeah. Stop being like the SEC and throwing darts. You know what I
mean? We did that. Listen, we did that last run. And I mean, some of us got lucky, but it's better to not be lucky and have a strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in this day and age, man. It's because these scammers and con artists in the space, they are taking advantage of all you dummies out there continuing to be dummies. I was a dummy, but I elevated my mind, got some education about myself, so I'm less of a dummy. You know,
I like that.
There's always something to learn in the crypto space. I mean, literally, I'm learning stuff all the time. You should, if you're trading, do what you can to educate yourself to become a successful, may not even be successful, to become an educated person so you can make those educated decisions, and it'll help you out along your journey so you're not hoping and dreaming that your $20 is going to turn into 20 million overnight and end up losing that $20 that you needed for your light bill.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you're that if that's you, no, stop. Go get a second job. Don't even do crypto.
Absolutely, man. So my second question, because you are a content creator, you said you started off with, 4 followers and such like that. Now you have the following that you have. You're very successful. You got your podcast, man. What kind of guidance would you give to other content creators that are looking to, just come up and make a name for themselves?
A couple things. The number one thing is be true to who you are. Like I went viral because I had a cracked iPhone 10 that I would run around screaming into, right? And this was back when crypto content creators, which there was only a couple, there was only a few meme creators back then, and everyone was a professor sitting behind their desk reading charts. And I'm over here running around screaming in my neighborhood about Saitama, right? So you can't plan for that. And then I went viral. Like you can't plan for that. That's not a strategy, right?
Yeah.
I was just being me. So if you're a guy that sits down, sit down. If you're a dude that runs around, run around. If you're a woman that, she's into fitness, she's into whatever, like be true to you and create content that you enjoy, because it takes years of doing that thing before you really go nuclear. Usually there's very few people that just go viral off the bat. Yeah. So because it takes years, you better make sure you enjoy it, because if you're miserable doing it, you're not going to last 3 months, and it takes years. So it better be something true to you, and you better enjoy it, because you got to keep it up forever. So that's number one. Be honest, be transparent, be you. Number two, go study other content creators. So this is something I did after I went, initially viral. And I was like, okay, we want to go from Twitter virality to TikTok, YouTube. Like, how do we get everything? Like, how do we grow in all these areas? And I paid for a $300 course. I began to study other successful content creators and reverse engineer, even podcasters. Like if you look at my Pantheon's podcast, go look at Founders podcast, and you're going to see, it's like twins. I'm just doing it in crypto. He's doing it outside of crypto. but I think he's the greatest podcaster of our time. His name is David Senra. Go subscribe to his podcast. It'll change your life like it changed mine. And so like I'm a big believer in studying other people that have done the hard work and made years of mistakes, learning from them so you don't have to bleed with your own spilled blood. So study other content creators and see what you can extract and apply in your own way.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you what, y'all, hey, you don't need a fancy setup. You don't need all this stuff. Literally, you start. I know everybody's got a phone. Everybody's got a smartphone. You can't tell everybody. I don't care if it's if it was one that you got off the corner from some tent, you know, that somebody was out there. You gotta, if you want to be, content creation does not cost a lot of money to even to start out. You know, once you get, you know, to a certain point and you want to elevate yourself, then of course you got subscriptions, StreamYard, you've got all this other stuff that, you know, you may want to pay for to help boost your name and boost your brand and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, and like he said, man, do something that you're going to enjoy, because if you're just strictly copycatting off of somebody else, and then after about a week or two, because I'm telling you what, it's a grind. And if you're not happy doing it, you ain't gonna last long. I see podcast equipment on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, being posted every single day of people saying, "Oh, well, you know, it's just wasn't for me." You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do something, make sure you know it's something that you're going to enjoy and be passionate about it. Even the naysayers, even somebody say, you know, somebody next to you say, you got a podcast, yeah, you know, like tease and everything. Yeah, keep at it, because next thing you know, they're going to be like, "Hey, man, how'd you do that? How'd you get onto that?" You know what I'm saying? And it goes forward from there. You know what I'm saying? So if you're passionate, stay passionate, be true to yourself, and do the damn thing, because this is some fun stuff.
I love it, man. I love it.
Well, man, once again, I really appreciate you coming on and giving us some insight and everything, and some background into yourself, how you got started, and to where you are today, you know, and the ups and downs and some of the bullshit along the way. And yeah, so everybody's listening. Hey, look, if you ain't subscribed to this man right here, make sure you go subscribe, follow on all those platforms. Make sure you hit the podcast up, follow the podcast. Let's show everybody show some love. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, this is another one of the big educators in the space that we desperately need, because we got a lot of imposters out there, but he's giving out the right information, doing the deep dives, and that some of y'all don't want to do. So,
man, I really appreciate you, man. Thank you and your audience so much for making time for me, man. This is like I love coming on everyone's podcast or spaces to talk about pantheons and what's going on in crypto. So it's an honor. Thank you.
I appreciate that, man. And with that being said, I really appreciate everybody. If you ain't following me already, hey, do me a favor, show support, show some love. Hey, shoot me a follow, like, subscribe on all platforms, because I am streaming to all platforms. SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, all that stuff is being posted there. If you missed anything, if you like to listen on the go, let's get it. And yeah, on that note, we're out of here, baby. See you next time.
You